Welcome into the very first episode of He Said Ree Said. So we've all heard of the He Said, She Said, but most of my friends call me Ree. I am Cherie Taylor, and you are my friend.
I am Mike Diddy, I guess, as we're going with Mike Diddy now. But Diddy is the real name, the radio name. But somehow that's been a little bit ruined as of late. So we're going to go kind of a full new name, Mike Diddy, here with you on He Said Ree Said. Yes.
I think we need to do that because
Yeah.
even my 17-year-old Austin, who you've known forever, you've known him since he was like 6 or 7. He was tiny when you first met him. And now he's a grown man pretty much, heading into his senior year of high school. It's insane.
Wow.
But we're in the car. You and I are texting back and forth. We're like, we got to get this podcast going. We got to do this going.
Yep.
And then he looks down and sees that you text him and he goes, ooh, you know he's having a bad time of it with his name right now.
It's unfortunate because if you see it written, you know, oh, okay, that makes sense. But it's pronounced the exact same way. And everybody, ever since he decided to go by that name, has asked, oh, like P. Diddy. And it was never that. Never like P. Diddy. It's spelled differently, Ditti. And obviously, I am not in the hip hop game and didn't do any of those terrible things.
And you're not hanging out on a beach somewhere. So
no, not at all. I'm in my backyard. That's what I'm doing. Hanging out back here in the shed, you know, having fun.
I know. You've got your own studio set up. I love that. After Ashley and you got married, bought the house, and you're like, oh, we're setting up my own studio. So you've got you've not got a she said, you've got a he said.
That's right.
See, I'm doing that too. You get
he said, he shed. Yeah, and it's, you know, Big Al Studios. I got the logo here on the jersey. It's one of my podcasts that I do with a friend as well. We made baseball jerseys for our baseball podcast. But, you know, it's awesome out here. We finally got it done after living here almost 3 years. I finally took the time and set it up and have a home studio that's worth being called an actual studio. It's not just a repurposed guest room inside the house.
Hush, I have kids. I'm waiting for the oldest one, aforementioned oldest one, to go off to college next year.
Yeah.
Because I'm sorry, Austin, that is now my new studio.
Yes, but that works too. I had this sitting out here and just wasn't doing anything with it. So it was, you know, hey, maybe that would be a good option. And now we can have more than one person come visit our house and they can sleep inside the house. It's kind of nice.
Exactly. Rather than, you don't mind sleeping around a bunch of radio paraphernalia, right?
Yeah,
how do you feel about a beer fridge beside your bed as a nightstand?
It's got a nice hum to it. And actually, I don't think I unplugged it. So you might hear the nice little hum to it. It's kind of relaxing. It makes you sleep. It's easy.
It is white noise. And you know, it's not like you just, you know, have a beer fridge in every room of your house. We can tell people that don't know what it is that you do. I've known you forever. We worked in the same radio group forever together. So I've always called you my radio little brother. But you also have a big boy job now too.
Yeah, I work for a distributor of alcohol. So you sell beer, wine, spirits. And so that's the day-to-day, driving all over the upstate and selling alcohol to people that need it, stores and bars and restaurants and all. And then I come home and play radio a little bit. So it's
absolutely.
Nice.
And you're also in my area, in the Charlotte area. So yeah. Let's see if we can get our podcast at one of the breweries around, because you're a distributor. So why don't you say, hey, while you're at it, we'll get some people in. We'll do a live podcast, show you how it's done.
That's right. And we have a couple that, you know, I work directly with, and I have a lot of friends that have breweries up there, from Shelby to Gastonia up into Charlotte. So there's a lot of options over there in Western North Carolina to pick from, where we can go anywhere around the Charlotte area, not just necessarily the ones everybody knows about. There's a lot of ones that need some spotlight, need a little love.
Exactly. I say that there is a new, messing with my hair. I'm such a female at times when it comes to headphones. I mean, I know you are so concerned about your hair with your headphones.
I know it's, you know, I got to make sure to cover it up, actually, is what it is. There's just a ton of flowing locks up here. Don't judge this little thing in the corner. That's not me. I don't know who that is.
I don't know who that is. I think that's just a look you're going for, so no one confuses you with the actual Diddy.
That's how you can walk around the streets and nobody knows you. So if they think I look like this guy, then we're good.
Right. You've got like flowing like Thor hair going on there.
Yes, I will go with that. I look just like Hemsworth. That is me completely, 100%.
Absolutely. That's the Hemsworth. That's the one you want to look like, not the other one that Miley sang about. Yeah.
No. The third brother, though, doesn't get his love. The third brother had some good roles. He did a good job on Westworld. They don't talk about the third brother because obviously he doesn't have that perfect hunky look of the other two. So it's a little afterthought. I don't even remember.
He's got the dad bod. He's rocking a dad bod.
Yeah.
I've seen him.
Absolutely.
And
But
that's
he's
okay.
good.
There's nothing wrong with a dad bod.
It's just funny. You see him and you're like, oh, wait, that's also a Hemsworth, isn't it? I just didn't know that. And he's pretty good. And he pops up in a bunch of things randomly. And you're like, oh, that guy exists. That's pretty cool.
Oh, look, another Australian actor we didn't know about. But he's a Hemsworth. Is he a
they're
distant
related.
cousin? Is he
Yeah. He looks more like a distant cousin. He definitely has the older brother look. He's the Joey Fatone of the Hemsworth boy band. Doesn't quite fit the look.
Are you knocking on Joey Fatone? He had some.
No, I love that guy.
I mean, he's great. I mean, he did like Hold the Dancing with the Stars, and he was the cool cousin in all the My Big Fat Greek Wedding movies.
Yeah, and he's an Orlando guy. He lives in Orlando. My time in Orlando had some crossing of paths. He used to have a hot dog place at the mall. He's a cool guy. But look at the pictures. You're like,
what was it called? Fatone's Dogs.
Yeah, it probably was. I think it was like Fatone. I think it was, but it was like spelled out almost like fat ones. Like you're getting fat hot dogs. Like they were huge hot dogs, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, he was a cool guy. Very nice dude. But again, you look at an NSYNC picture. It's like some young 20s and dad hanging out over here in the corner.
I know. It's like you hear that song, one of these things not like the other. Yes. One of these things just don't belong. I mean,
Absolutely.
Okay, so that was NSYNC. I'm trying to think if there was one like that in the Backstreet Boys, because if you remember, they hated it. Their fan base hated each other.
Oh, of course. It was definitely one or the other, and for me, it was neither, because obviously I was a teenager, so I wasn't jumping on that. You had to be very resistant, even if you knew that JT was super, like, he's going to be a superstar. The guy's really talented. You couldn't talk about that when you're like 14 and the boy bands are the hit, because you had to not be into that kind of thing back in the 90s. So I was not either of them, but I probably would have leaned NSYNC. I don't know who the guys are in Backstreet Boys by name other than Aaron Carter. It was Aaron, right? That was in Backstreet, and his brother was the other one.
Yeah, one of the two. Yeah, there's Aaron and Nick. I can't remember which one was in there.
And I think Nick was in Backstreet. That's what it was.
Chris with the big eyebrows. I remember a dude with the eyebrows.
Yeah. One of them could have been older. I can't remember.
Was it Howie Do It? Like, isn't that one of the Backstreet Boys?
Was that a Backstreet Boy? See, because I get them mixed up. I'm like, I know some names that could have been in either one of them.
Exactly. I know he was in one of those, and I know my kids think it's so funny, like the song "This Is How We Do It," and so So I'm like,
Kirkpatrick and Fatone were with JT. That's the only one I'm sure of. Those two. Yeah. Kirkpatrick almost bought a radio station I worked at once. It was pretty interesting.
Really?
He was going to basically be my boss at one point, and then the whole deal fell through and it didn't happen. But
as I sip my tea, tell me what it's like to have your radio station bought.
No comment. No. It didn't end up happening, and then I had to go to corporate side after that to find, at least a steady paycheck, if not a good one.
A good one with perks. Hello.
Right. Not back then.
Oh, not back then. Yeah, I get that.
No.
Okay, let's talk about corporates. Okay, I'm going to skip out on the first topic that I gave you, because we usually do three topics, because we've done podcasts before. Because my former podcast, the Divas Dish podcast, I'd always have you in as one of my guest divas. And yes, everything you see right there says diva.
That's right.
Do not like the mild-mannered dear man. I've got a zipper, you've got a button, you're like, yeah, sure. This is just a jersey.
Just hanging out, being comfy.
As a Hemsworth wannabe would be.
Yes, absolutely. I definitely do look like a Hemsworth. Just it's Thor in the last End Game when he was fat. That's what I.
Oh my God! But he was so cute. He was so cute with a little pop belly.
That's me. Except for this over here.
In a past life, we'll just say that, okay? In a past professional life, I worked for a station that played a bunch of Christmas music.
Yes.
And I had to look up all kind of Christmas facts, but to stay current. Did you know pretty much how the whole Santa thing started was as Thor being pulled around by goats? So basically, Thor is Santa. Thor is Santa. So when he had that gut, he was on target and on brand.
And obviously, we're not a religious podcast here, so I'm not challenging anybody's beliefs, but there are conspiracy theories that even the Bible is actually a spin-off of Norse mythology, where Loki is our one god, and he has tricked us into believing there's no other god because Loki is the trickster. And that's why the horsemen all resemble a different Greek or mythical god.
So you're not
Loki.
challenging anything. That's just the way that. Well, here's the thing about it. Gilgamesh is loosely close to the whole flood with Noah and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
So you have to think that people down the ages, they heard it from somebody, adapted it into their language, and adapted into their culture. And so, no one's going to believe if they have never seen a Norse god driving around in a sleigh full of goats. No one's going to believe that's a thing, especially if you're in Africa where you don't see a lot of snow. You don't see that many, changes in temperature. So you had to adapt it for there too. So.
Absolutely. And now we know for sure that he doesn't come in on snow. It's a rainbow Bifrost that he rides in like in the movies. So it's kind of a nice mix. So that's what we see is the rainbows everywhere. That's Santa just checking in on everybody.
Okay. Since you lived in Orlando at one point in your career, are you telling me that could be a new ride at Disney? I'm just saying they're adding stuff all the time.
I do know
I'd ride the Rainbow Bridge.
Yeah, let's write this in. Or we can hope that the next door neighbor of Disney at Universal, when they do their Mario World, maybe has a Rainbow Road. Because it's kind of what it looks like. It's almost like Thor takes Rainbow Road in Mario Kart to get where he's going. That's what the Bifrost looks like. So maybe that's what it is. They can do a little crossover. There's still a little bit of Marvel left over at Universal. So why not?
Absolutely. Because, when they said, okay, that you can't on this side of the Mississippi, you can't have these Marvel characters. Oh, yeah, the Guardians, no one's ever going to do anything with them. Oh, my God. Can you imagine? Disney's like, okay, hold my beer.
Yeah, well, that's what Disney did so smart here is that they kind of latched on to the lesser popular characters at the time and turned them into the biggest named comic book characters. Because Thor and Iron Man, they were like secondary characters, really. And they turned them into the main show because they knew that Universal didn't want to pay for it. They're like,
don't tell Tony Stark he was lesser. Don't tell Tony Stark he was lesser. No.
They made him better because they found Robert Downey Jr. That was the savior of Marvel, really. It was that movie. Favreau and Robert Downey Jr. coming together made everything go forward. And now, what do we get? Like 50 different things a year from them. It's overwhelming. Can't keep up with it.
Who would think that the guy that Rodney Dangerfield lobbed all those insults at back in Back to School, back in the day, and Jon Favreau, who was the dude from Swingers.
He was Rudy's friend. Rudy's
was he friend or brother? I thought he was.
It was his buddy. It was his buddy when he got to Notre Dame. When he was still trying to get into Notre Dame, I think he was like in admissions or something. Favreau's character, and they became best friends. So yeah, it's the kind of chubby, awkward friend from Rudy and Tony Stark. It's the guy who was just getting berated by Rodney Dangerfield in Back to School.
Oh my gosh, I remember him literally that one line. You are the poster child for birth control.
Yeah. Rodney was one of the best of all time, man. So funny.
Exactly. He could get no respect, but he gave no respect.
That's right.
I love
Absolutely.
him. All right. So who would have thought that I would say that? Anyway, I grew up watching that stuff too from the 80s. I think we had thicker skin back then.
A little bit.
I would think so. All right.
I'm in that cusp, still like half 80s, half 90s. I got the 50-50 split.
You have thick skin, but you also need a safe room, is what you're telling me.
A little bit. That's why I have this room. That's where I go. I come out here.
I think that's where Ashley sends you.
That's more of that, actually. She's like, no, you can go out there. Okay. See you later.
Your wife is a nurse. Your wife is a nurse, and she's been at the hospital all day. She's like, I can't. I just can't.
Yeah. Or if she just wants to watch something I don't want to watch, like a reality show or something. She's like, don't you have things to do outside? Yeah. Well,
I love that.
I'll come out here and watch wrestling by myself. It's fine.
Well, that's okay. But she, as soon as you leave, she just turns something else on. She's like, I'm just going to get ahead on the season here.
It better not be one that I have to wait for. When I have to wait for her to watch it, it's got to be fair game. You can't start watching it without me either. You got to have.
Oh, I'm the worst about that. Yeah. I will watch ahead and not care. All right, I'm going to skip past because we're going to talk about corporate first, and then we're going to go back to the first topic.
Okay.
You mentioned working in the corporate world. And a
Yes.
giant corporate company is the Heinz ketchup family. They do beans,
Yeah.
they do this, that, and the other. And they're not just here in America, they're all over the world.
Mhm.
And for some reason, they have decided that Iceland is their test market for certain things.
Okay.
Because back in September, they did a test market for hash browns that are filled with ketchup that you either air fry, you deep fry, or you bake in your oven. Is that like skipping something? Because the latest thing they said everybody went crazy for them in Iceland. I haven't seen them in America. So I think
Yeah.
Americans are like, we're lazy, but we're not that lazy. We can put ketchup on our own food. Thank you very much.
There's got to be a line of how lazy we could get here.
Exactly. We are
Yeah.
Americans. We are known to
Yeah.
be
Come on.
fat, slobbish,
That's
rude, ill mannered, and lazy. Please, please
right.
don't send that here.
And that isn't that just putting pasta sauce in there? I mean, I know like obviously I'm an Italian kid. I know how to make sauce that's not just ketchup. It's not just but like you're just heating up tomato and like that's not what ketchup is. I kind of want it cold when I dip the hot fry or hot tot or whatever else into
Absolutely.
it. And also, I don't know. I'm also not really. I know this is maybe blaspheming, excuse me, in the South. I don't put ketchup on my hash browns. Like season the hash browns, and I shouldn't need to put ketchup on it anyway. So this defeats
Absolutely.
all purposes of hash brown for me. Putting ketchup
I,
inside of them.
okay. I really don't like hash browns. See, that is
Yeah.
blasphemy in the South. It's
Okay,
like,
that's fair.
I only like French fries or hash browns if they're super crispy. See,
Yeah,
that almost like a potato chip. So people are
that's
like, when did
fair.
you just eat potato chips? I'm like, good call right there.
Yeah,
That way, you know, it's
that's
not going to
fair.
be soggy. But I don't like ketchup either. I will get angry
Yeah.
if I do decide to order fries at like a drive-through window. I hate ketchup. And then
Mhm.
here they are with their nasty hands. I'm sure they're clean, but everybody's got their hands in there
Yeah.
picking up ketchup packs and
Mhm.
throwing them on top of my fries in the bag and handing it to me. I'm like,
Yeah.
no. It's like they're asking, do you want ketchup? I'm like, no, I hate ketchup. And they're dropping it as they're saying it. I'm like,
Yeah, and if you've worked in any restaurants that give out ketchup packets, they get goopy from just like in the package. Like some of them
yeah.
leak, some of them have
Mhm.
like extra residue on the glue, and like it's gross. They're goopy and nasty usually. Don't throw them on
Yes.
top of the food. Throw them in first, and then put the food in if you're going to put them in there, regardless. Or like you
Or
said, if I said no, don't put them in there. I don't
exactly.
need it.
The asking is nice. Here's the
Yeah.
thing. Wherever you are, corporations and wherever you are at the drive-through, because I do love me a good unsweetened tea, but it has to be so
Oh
full of
yes.
ice because it like melts down
Yeah.
perfectly. Well, for some reason, they have those automated machines now, and they'll
Yeah.
like give you like 3 ice cubes, and then the automated machine won't fill it up. So you've got like this air pocket.
Yep.
They charge you $1 more for a drink now, and then they never fill it up. And then when you ask them for more ice, you would think I said, "Can you please shoot your
Yeah.
mama?"
I don't even know if they're mad about it. I don't think they know how to do it on these machines now. It's like they've taken all the control out of people's hands. So they just throw a cup up there and it does the rest. Can you even go back and put ice in it by itself? Is there ice by itself anywhere in there? I don't know if
I
that's a
think
thing
we're
anymore.
back to that same
Yeah.
thing that you said. We're Americans. We're lazy. Please don't make
Yeah.
us any lazier by
Yes.
automating, by putting the ketchup in the hash browns.
Right. And it's ice. You got an iced tea. It's not just, it's going to be warm when they do it that way too. I've had it a few times lately. There's one place I go specifically in breakfast time because it's my favorite of the fast food breakfast options. And I get the unsweet
Hmm.
tea. And when they hit the
Okay.
button and it goes through and it's barely any ice, it's a hot tea still. It's still like lukewarm because the ice melts immediately because the tea's still coming out hot. So it's
As
very
I'm
frustrating.
sipping this with my
Yeah.
lovely striped straw, are we talking about the same place?
Probably, yes.
Because you
I
said
need
it's
more ice.
automated. It's
Yeah.
automated because I went to Chick-fil-A the other day and just got myself a tea, and I saw a woman standing there with a scoop
Mhm.
that's measured for large cups and
Yep.
medium cups, and she gave me, like, the full scoop of the large cup, and I'm like,
Yes.
"That's why
The way you
Chick-fil-A
do it.
is the best."
That's right. Zaxby's rocks it that way too with the same kind of ice that
And
Chick-fil-A has,
it's
and they'll
yeah,
fill
and
the
it's
cup.
this
Yep.
well, it's like the scoop is shaped like the large cup or the
Yes.
medium cup. And here
Yep.
I am, I'm going, "Ooh, inventive," rather than the machine that just pulls
Yeah.
through.
Yeah, because the machine ruins it. Their machine doesn't. It doesn't give you the ice you need, and it ruins your drinks. It's not good. We got to go back to the
Exactly.
scoops. Listen to Chick-fil-A
On some things, on
on
some
some
things. Let's
things,
just
not outside the building things, inside the building things.
exactly. They know how to do chicken, and apparently they know how
Yes,
to scoop up some ice to put in your cup.
they can
Okay.
fill a cup full of ice. They're very good at that.
Well, probably one thing you'll never see with the hash browns, by the way, those hash browns,
Yes.
I will eat the hound out of the hash browns from
Oh yeah,
Chick-fil-A in the mornings, the little small
little
ones.
rounds. Yep,
Oh yeah, those are so
we love
good.
those.
But they'll never put ketchup or the newest invention from Heinz, barbecue sauce in
Yeah,
the hash browns. Why barbecue sauce?
yeah. I don't know. I wouldn't put that on there either. It's just not a food that needs sauce. I feel like it's a if
No.
anything, you just need to season it better. If you feel the need to pour sauce on a food, it means you haven't seasoned it well. That's where
And
I stand on that.
what I'm worried about is
Yeah,
you're gonna bite into it and it's gonna be hot, so it's gonna be like lava.
yeah,
It's gonna burn your face.
exactly. It's going to be the level beyond the pizza pockets when you overcook the
Yeah.
pizza, the hot pocket, or no, the pizza. Aren't they pizza
Yes.
pockets? Or am I mixing two
No, what do
products
you call them?
together right now?
Not pizza bites.
Pizza bites. So,
It's a
yeah,
pizza bites, pizza
Totino's
rolls,
pizza bites.
pepperoni rolls. Yeah.
One of them, whatever they are, they're little balls of chaos if you eat them too fastly. Fastly, that's a new word too. You'll burn your mouth, just all to everything. You'll have blisters everywhere. This might be worse than those if they make them, because you're going to have just goo, and it's going to be molten hot goo inside of this hash brown. That's not a good idea.
No, it's not a good idea. I don't think it's a
No.
great idea at all. And I've been to Iceland. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I know what they're going for. If you look at the packaging that I'm showing on the screen, if you look at the
Yeah.
packaging, it is a traditional European or a traditional English breakfast. Basically, you've got the baked beans, you've got the egg, and then you got the hash brown with the lava death in the middle of it.
Lava. Straight lava.
I
Like, if you
know.
want to do that with breakfast food, and they might already make these. Maybe I'm just not in the loop anymore. Do a French toast stick with the syrup in it. That makes more sense than this for a breakfast quick heat up option.
I get that. It's like kind of
Yeah.
like the toaster pastries. I get that.
Yeah, because you want
That I get.
syrup
Mhm.
hot with your French toast. I don't want ketchup or barbecue sauce hot. I feel like it's not hot unless I have it, grilling a piece of chicken that's coated in barbecue sauce. That's different.
I see
Maybe.
that. That's fair. No. I
Maybe not. I
totally
don't
get
know.
that. No, because the idea is a condiment should be cold. I'm like,
Yeah.
no. Okay, first of all, I will not eat mayonnaise. I hate mayonnaise.
Yeah, no, not a mayonnaise person.
Yeah. So I could understand why somebody would eat that hot. I mean,
Mhm.
I think you would die. I think that's an unwritten rule that if it's ever served hot, you'll die.
Yeah, I think it might
Or
be.
at least maybe you wish you would have. Okay, I'm just
Yeah.
saying that. I mean,
feel
I
the
know
same with,
people
like-
that condition their hair with
Mhm.
mayonnaise. If you can condition your hair with it, I'm not going to eat it.
Well, that's also that, but gross on both fronts, I guess. Don't eat it or do that. It seems kind of. I get it on the the unfortunate reality. Sometimes people get lice. When you're younger, kids get lice at school and bring it home, and that kills them faster. You put the mayonnaise in your hair, that's fine. But like to actually condition it with it, that's weird. I've never heard of that one.
I guess the whole point is the oils and the eggs and all this other stuff. And I'm
Okay.
going to start itching as soon as you say lice.
Yeah, sorry,
Because
my bad.
my sister's a teacher, my mom's a retired teacher,
Yep.
my brother's a teacher. Anytime they ever mention any cases of lice in the school, I start itching my head. I've
Oh,
never
no.
been around these kids, but it's the
Yeah.
thought of it. It's like,
You're like, wait.
I can't.
Did I just get it because he said the word? Now it's here.
You
Oh, no.
passed me. You passed me the cooties through the screen, Michael. You're
That's
in
why,
trouble
again,
if I say
that's
Michael.
why I cover up the locks. You got to keep them covered.
Gotta keep them safe. You gotta keep them cootie free. It's like having your cootie shot. Circle,
Yes.
circle, dot, dot. Now you got
That's
your
right.
cootie shot.
Works
All right,
every time.
so okay, we're both in agreement on that one.
Mhm.
Okay,
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
so for the he said part, he says yes or no.
I say no to these filled hash browns. I think it's a little too much. I don't hate the picture. I just get the barbecue sauce out of the middle of the hash brown log, because I think that English breakfast with the baked beans, egg, and the hash browns looks absolutely magnificent. But I don't want the molten hot lava sliding out the middle and burning my face off when I try to eat it. That's what's
Well,
going to happen.
I'm totally against it too
Yeah.
because first of all, I don't like ketchup. Secondly,
Yeah.
barbecue sauce is good, but yeah, I agree with you on that. That it has to be cold if you're going to dip something in it.
Yeah.
And I cannot stand for my tongue to ever get bit, burned, anything like that.
Yeah.
Like
Though
you
I'll
get
do
those
it.
little bumps. I hate those on
Yeah.
your tongue. Yeah.
I will do it religiously on pizza because I just can't wait. I'm impatient and heavy. I like my pizza, and I don't. It'll burn me every time. They'll say it's really hot. I'm like, really? It's just,
That's what you.
it's over.
Oh, it is. I
Yep.
did not notice.
Like, and you're like, oh, hot, hot.
If you ever got to the point you burnt the roof of your mouth, that's when you know you are really just getting in there.
And again, that's like every time I have pizza. I cannot be patient with pizza in front of me. I'm going to eat it. And if it's too hot, it's too hot. That's just life.
Next on the trials and tribulations of growing up an Italian kid.
That's right. Yeah.
All right. Let's talk about one thing when you get up in the morning. How fast do you have to have caffeine?
Oh, immediately. I make the coffee before I get into the bathroom. I have it brewing already.
So even if you really have to go, you're going to make that coffee. You're going to stand and pour that water from the sink. Oh my gosh, I couldn't do that.
So
I set it ahead of time.
I do have 3 little dogs I have to get outside as fast as possible so that they don't do anything inside. So I get them out and then quickly fill up the water, put in the coffee, a little cinnamon on the grounds, makes it really actually good, makes it nice and cinnamony, and then hit go and then into the bathroom.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Well, so
I got to get the dogs out anyway.
You got the fenced-in backyard. I mean, I live in a condo, so I have to walk my dog. And I live right next to the woods, and there's times I thought, will she come back if I just let her on the loose? I'm like, no, I'll get a fine. Right. Oh, but let me see. Nope. That's when I go, Mommy's going to go, then you're going to go. Just hold it, please. Mommy's going to go first. And then she's looking at me. I've waited all night.
That's awesome.
I hear what you say in your sleep. But no, there is a new study. The New York Times did this study. And now TikTokers and all these influencers are jumping on the bandwagon going, you'll get more bang for your buck if you wait for 90 minutes before having your first cup of caffeine. I'm sorry.
I can't do that.
It will feel like you got this great jolt of energy. That's because usually if you're like me, you'll be laying on the floor. If you don't have your coffee, I have an iced coffee machine as well as an espresso machine. And I got rid of my regular coffee pot because that espresso, what I'll do is I'll make me a really strong double cup of espresso and then pour it over one of my flavored protein shakes. And that is so good. So I feel like I'm doing something good. I'm doing something good, but I'm getting my coffee and it feels like I'm having a little, a frozen drink from Starbucks, one of the frappuccinos without all the flattuccinos.
Okay. That's fair. That's a good choice. That's a better way to go about it because I probably just would go to get the frappuccino. But 90 minutes, that's a long time. I don't know if there's 90 minutes between when I wake up and leave, to be perfectly honest, with the amount of snooze buttons that happen on the phone alarms. So I don't think I could wait 90 minutes. I need to have at least some coffee in me before I walk out the front door. Like it has to be flowing already. And then, another gallon and a half by the end of the day, probably.
See, it's not just me because there's some people like you have that one cup of coffee, 90 minutes, and then you're good for the rest of the day. I'm sorry. I can't even, and I know you're not supposed to have this much caffeine, but I also know when I don't have caffeine and I try to step it down because you remember from working in the office with me, I have a slight addiction to sugar-free Red Bull. It's not the fully loaded, but it is sugar-free and it's got all the other stuff on it. And I have found the weirdest thing is happening when I stepped off the Red Bull for a while. I was getting cramps in my feet and my toes at night. And I think it's the chemicals that I was not getting in there, the different B12s and the potassium and stuff like that. And so it's like I had to add stuff back in and I really don't eat wheat. So I was at the store yesterday and I'm like, I'm not going to have these cramps anymore. And let me just see, because it was like really painful out of nowhere. It's not like I was running a marathon and then like cramping up afterwards. Yeah. And it was just my feet and my legs, like my shins and stuff. And so my mom's like, maybe it's a potassium thing. So my grandmother used to eat those giant shredded wheat biscuits. I'm not talking like the cute little mini wheats that are full of sugar and they're not good for you at all. These are the grandma biscuits that come three in the brown paper bag.
There's 3, you just get the 3 of them.
So I got those at the store because they're on sale at Publix. So if you're near Publix, go do that. So I got those and like put it in a bowl, poured a little milk on it, and then chopped up some bananas and strawberries. And for some reason, this like cramps that I was having in my toes went away. So I guess it was a potassium thing. So that's the thing. My body was not only addicted to the caffeine, it was addicted to the healthy chemicals and nutrients that's in a Red Bull. So I'm going to go with that. So I have to have a Red Bull because I can't have that happen again.
You can't. I just, if I don't have enough coffee, just your head feels like it's about to explode, in my opinion. So I got to keep. I need more coffee. And then some days it's just like, I don't care if I'm up a little later. I need a coffee right now because I'm not going to make it.
Uh,
It's
yes,
tough.
I
Yeah.
will hurt somebody. I will hurt
Yeah.
somebody.
Yeah. It goes
Like
back
the
to, I
other.
think, an old podcast we did back in the day, the Divas
Mhm.
one, where we were talking about being hangry. It's
Oh
very
yeah,
similar if I don't have enough caffeine. Like that's almost worse because I can't. I'm like overstimulated, even though I'm not getting the stimulation. It's this weird. It fights
that's.
itself.
Here's the thing. I would
Yeah,
rather be hungry than go without caffeine.
yeah, yeah. I'll just like
Mhm.
chug my water bottle because I bring this thing everywhere with me. It's a monster. It's huge. So I just chug this
I've
thing
got
if my
actually
stomach starts
mine went
hurting.
straight through the
Yeah.
mine. My oldest makes fun of it because it's like it measures it out. It gives you like
Yeah.
slogans. It's like get started, remember your goal, keep drinking, don't give up, almost there. You did it. And then right
Yes.
after the jerks say refill.
Yep. That's funny. I just have the typical beer rep. I have all beer stickers from breweries and such, plus some other stuff, some Bucky's, Dwight
You
Dwight
gotta
Schrute.
have Bucky's. Bucky's is the best.
That's my inner spirit animal right there, Dwight Schrute screaming. But yeah, just if I have that like hunger vibe, and I could chug some water and then go back to my coffee, and I don't feel bad, and it's okay. Whereas if I
Yeah.
didn't have the coffee, miserable. It's over for me.
I think I could live like if I ever had to go on Survivor, like they would
Yeah.
say, "Yes, Cherie, it's like the Hunger Games.
Yep.
We have selected you to go on Survivor." It's like asthmatic girl with a big mouth would get voted off like a day in. But if I would be able, I would be fine as long as I had water
Yeah.
or caffeine. But
Mhm.
going without food, not a problem. Not
Yeah.
a problem for me. But if
I
I
mean, I've
didn't
stored
have
up enough
caffeine,
over the years. There's enough food already here. I need the water and caffeine. Those things, they
I
disappear.
once had told some guy say that his belly was a solar tank for a love machine.
There you go. That's nice. I like that. I
He
always went
can
the beer
borrow
route
that.
because that's where my head goes is beer. So it's like, you can't have a party with a 6-pack. That's boring. Everyone needs a keg. It's like you bring the keg.
There it is. Okay, so that's where we are on the caffeine thing. The caffeine, I don't care what the New York Times says. The New York
Yeah.
Times, lovely publication, love their articles. I'm not following that one. Can't do it.
No, I'm with you on that one again. So we're 2 for 2 here. I'm
We are
sure we'll
2 for
disagree
2.
eventually. But
Eventually, today may be the all
yeah,
you can
yeah,
agree show. Instead of all you can eat
yeah.
show is all you can agree.
That's just a
Okay,
tough one to go against. I need a full pot of coffee a day, or it's over, and I just might as well call out of work at that point. Stay
just
home, go
make
back
it
to
and put
sleep.
one of those big straws in it.
Yes, honestly, if I didn't think I'd look like a complete serial killer, I would rather this be full of coffee and then my smaller cup be the water. But that's not very healthy, so I drank 2 of these full of water to be smart.
To flush it out. That's smart.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But I
Well, your
definitely
heart's
would
going to
drink
be
that
going
much
for a long
coffee.
time. Yeah,
Oh yeah, yeah. It's had its exercise from the caffeine.
exactly. And speaking of staying young and staying healthy, as I was doing more research, a Polish grandmother,
Mhm.
92 years old in Poland,
Oh
she
boy.
stopped a robbery about 2 years ago, December 2022. Okay. So this woman broke it or was at the bank, held up the teller. And so this grandma had a cane, popped the woman, the gun and knife out of her hand, and basically knocked her to the ground until the police could come and get her. And the grandma
Yes.
got all these accolades and all this other stuff. And she's like, I'm just a citizen doing my job. I'm just helping out like anybody else would. Everybody else that did not live through a certain period in time that are
Yeah.
not 92 years old, they were probably hitting the deck and hiding under
Oh
desk
yeah.
at that point.
She's like, all you got is that knife. I got this.
Not Bubby.
Yeah,
Bubby's got the cane, and she's
I've
like, I'm
got
gonna knock
this.
the heck out of this. She didn't even think twice, and she probably like beat her down and it's like, I'd like to deposit these pennies.
Yes. This giant bag of pennies. I got them for
Exactly.
turning in cans that I smashed.
I know. Let me count them. 1, 2, 3, 4.
I think it's great. Like you said, she's been through some things, man. She's 91 in Poland. That means she saw the worst of the worst time
Mhm.
in world history, probably overall. So yeah,
Exactly.
you're not going to scare her away with a little stabby device coming into a bank. She's going to take you out she probably talked trash to the security guard who was hiding while she held her down too.
I
want to believe
absolutely.
that she gave some kind of one-liner, like action movie hero line when she smacked it. You know, like, so I can't think of anything funny right now.
I'm thinking as soon as you said the stabby knife, I'm speaking of Paul Hogan or a Crocodile Dundee. That's not a knife. This is a knife. That's totally what I was thinking. And Grandma's just like, meh, take your cane. She's like, I'm doing what anybody else would do. No. People of a younger generation, they are hiding under the desk. We are the generation of kids that were told if you go out in the hallway and hold a book over your head, you'll be fine during the whatever.
The tornado won't get you.
Tornado won't get you. Nuclear fallout. Yeah. I think at one point they were told to put paper over their heads. I'm like, what? Yeah.
The duck and cover drills. Like even out in California, there was get under your desk for earthquakes. It's like, okay, the point is that the debris will come outside the desk, but it's like, can't we just get outside? Like it's hard to walk, but it's not safe to be inside. So just out. Let's get out of this place.
You know, there's not enough door frames because people say when an earthquake comes, get in a door frame because you're at least safe there because it's going to stay around you. So they're like, all right, we have 4 door frames in here. Who has been a really bad kid today?
Yeah. Like the rest of you, get under your 85-year-old desk that barely holds your weight. It'll be safe.
You'll be, and you get to a certain point where you don't have the square desk anymore. You have the desk that the seats are made into. How the heck?
That was very, very not great for a large human to have to sit at this growing up in my teenage years.
Did you guys
I wasn't as quite around, but I was a big person. So not comfortable. Those seats were terrible.
Exactly. Now they have like, what was it? My youngest classroom, they have like alternative seats. Like they have like the bouncy balls they can sit on in certain classes or whatever. I'm like, is this school or gymboree?
I need this. Can I backtrack time? Can I go back to... I want to be a kid again, too. I don't know if you watch these commercials for toys. Now that I've been sucked back into the world of watching wrestling, the toys they have are so much cooler. Oh, my goodness. Like,
much cooler.
Holy crap. I want these toys. I want to play with them at 40.
Exactly. We had board games. It's like, board games. This great board game. I want this. I want that. Now it's like, are you kidding? I can go destroy someone else immediately with this, whatever it is.
You basically have action figures that walk and talk almost, I feel like. Whereas we had the little little trigger on the back that made his arm do this just to chop somebody, the karate chop arm.
I remember one of my cousins having this Stretch Armstrong thing with the beads in it. And even after we got older and then the second generation of grandkids were coming along, the younger ones or whatever, I remember that thing was still at my grandmother's house and he'd been played with so much. He had like lumps. He had tumors.
Oh my goodness.
Because it was so stretchy. So I had this one arm that was like dabbling. And then the other, like, everything was like knotted up in one place. I'm like, he needs a good shiatsu massage.
Yes. I used to have Highlander level battles between Gumby and Stretch Armstrong because there can only be one Stretchy. You can't have more than one. So they were definitely in that Highlander hierarchy where they had to take each other out. One of them had to win. And so that was the battle when I was a kid.
One.
Yes, that's right. And Gumby won. I don't know if you knew, but Gumby is better than Stretch Armstrong. It's probably because he's just all whatever, rubber. I don't know what Gumby is even supposed to be.
I know. Well, he's green. He's Gumby Dummit.
He's like a piece of Laffy Taffy that has a horse who's also made of Laffy Taffy. That's like
exactly. His horse was named Pokey, right?
Pokey, yeah. It's like at least you know what Pokey is. That's a horse.
What exactly.
That's not a man.
He's Eddie Murphy in a styrofoam suit. If you remember that old Saturday Night Live.
That is the best Gumby. Let's be real. That's fun.
Oh, absolutely. Gumby Dumpit. Anyway, when you were saying that you were having the Highlander battles, I know we've got to wrap this up. But all I could think of is at the end of the original Highlander movie, not the ones afterwards. The original one where he actually has all the power. It comes into him and all this. And he's like, I can hear this. And it's like he's talking. All I can envision was Gumby doing the same thing.
Yes.
If we could.
We'll have Mr. Fantastic talking to him.
Oh my God. For the next episode, I think that needs to be one of our outtake videos. If you can come up with those slogans, we'll find a way to voice them. Okay, we'll find a way to voice them and just have their little fat faces moving. Oh my god, that'd be hilarious.
I'm
And then
down.
the
I'm absolutely
Aquaman. Until
yes.
Jason Momoa took over, no one knew what I did.
No,
I
no.
mean, no.
The
It's like,
closest representation was when South Park was making fun of it.
oh yeah. And if you ever, Frank Caliendo, if you ever heard his stand
Yeah.
up, where he talks about all I can do is open a can of tuna, bloop, 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 bloop. I'm the most worthless superhero ever.
It's fantastic. I love Caliendo. Caliendo is one of the greatest there is.
One of the greatest.
Oh yeah.
No one can touch him. My kids, they actually, because we got to the point where we were all Jim Gaffigan for a while and all the different other comedians and Brian Regan, by the way, the whole
Love
line
Brian
of Brian, are you a moron? Apparently, my kids love saying that part. But when I got them onto Frank Caliendo, they were cracking up for stuff that had happened long before they were ever born, and they got the references. I did have to explain what my five means. Are you part of my five?
Yeah.
You remember that the old phone commercial?
Yep.
And he does Bill Clinton. He's like, Bill Clinton starts talking about his five, and then George Bush is talking about his five. He's like, sorry, I get tickled. He was like, what was his name? Lars in my five, Bill Clifton. And he started, he said Bill Clifton. And my kids think that's the funniest thing. Once I explained to them what the my five was. So it's Caliendo. He's great. He's great.
Oh,
so
yeah. Absolute legend, that guy.
You think we could get him on the podcast?
I mean, we could try. I've interviewed him many a time in Orlando, and sometimes he likes my tweets when I tag him. So, every once in a while it comes back around the anniversary of one of the times we had him in. You've known a lot of sports talk hosts in your day. Not greatest when they're like the newspaper guy and they have to interview a comedian. They think they can just say, hey, you be funny. You're a comedian. Like, that's not how you talk to a comedian. Just talk to them, be normal with them, and they're just funny people. Like, that's how this works.
They'll go with it.
Our host would always, when Caliendo came in, be like, do Barkley, do this person, do this person. And we're like, God, like, this is such a bad segment of radio. So one time we had Caliendo on and the host was out. So the co-host was hosting and I was co-hosting technically and producing. And we were like, we're not doing what he does. Like, we're not going to ask him to just do impressions. We're going to just get him talking about personal things. And, he's got a kid and his kid's getting older. So we're like, let's ask him if he plays Madden with his son.
Oh,
and
my God.
Does he talk trash as John Madden if he's whooping his butt? Like, if he's really beating him.
And does he love Brett Favre?
Yeah,
Brett
like,
Favre?
he's like, boom, tough acting, tenactin. Like, he just drops him on him. That's one of those. And I was like, and he's like, no, I actually like to do that when we play Mario. And then he went on a 15-minute diatribe as John Madden, talking about Mario's life as a poor plumber from Italy coming to New York, getting thrown, like then all of a sudden, boom, there's this donkey. He's throwing barrels. It's this whole John Madden thing. And I had to turn every microphone off because we were laughing too hard and it was covering him up. And we could still hear the laughing on his microphone. It was so loud. So it was the best segment ever. Every year when that comes up on my memories, I share it. I tag him on Twitter. He always likes it. So I'm like, maybe I could get him still. Maybe I could reach out.
We could work because that would be okay. First of all, it gets harder and harder when you have a 17-year-old for them to think you're cool ever again.
For sure.
Until they need you to write money, give them money, or I'm about to say write a check out for him, but let's just face it. I send him Apple Pay. Okay.
Yeah, I was like, I don't think he's ever asked for a check.
No, I don't think he knows what checks are. Okay.
What does that do? That's
What's
weird.
that book that has all the numbers and your name on it? I'm like, never you mind.
Is that old timey money?
But that would totally be one my Austin would be like, can I be in on that? Because he loves Caliendo. So.
Oh, we're going to need to pull this off. We'll figure something out. That's going to happen.
I mean, I've had Greg Proops on and Tommy Davidson and stuff like that. And
Legends.
Of course, I just crack up. And also Carlos Mencia, Mind of Mencia. I just let him go one day. I was like,
yeah.
Tommy Davidson, you just had to step out of the way and let Tommy Davidson go. But he was amazing. So, yeah.
I got to meet Tommy that one time at our big event at the hospital, and it was awesome.
Yes.
I walked up and was like, oh, I know you. I was like, you're Tommy Davidson. Oh my gosh. Like, I grew up watching your stuff. Like, he's awesome.
Brought him over for like a little 5-minute bit. I let him go 15. Don't care.
Oh, yeah.
Don't care. It was brilliant. And it was on video. So I've got the video on that. And I just let him go. And friends of mine were texting me like, I just saw that. Oh my God. How did you just not wet yourself? I'm like, who says I didn't?
Right. The bathrooms are close over there. It's fine. We're in
exactly. You're in a hospital. They'll
fine.
get you some Depends, or they'll have a gown you can put on. That'd be great.
Yeah, you come in and close. You leave in the scrubs. It's fine.
I wouldn't be the first person to do that coming out of that
No.
hospital. No.
No, not at all.
All right.
The person inside my house could tell you many of those stories.
Yes. She's glad them scrubs leave.
Yes.
Yes, that paper dress looks lovely on it. Yes, yellow is your color. Enjoy. Be free and close the back. We don't want to see it as you go. All right, Diddy, this was a great addition, or this is a great episode. Inaugural episode. I can't even say it. Okay. This was a great inaugural episode of He Said Ree Said, and I think we agreed on we usually agree on everything, but we do have our own twisted takes. Yeah. We have our own twisted takes. All right, Michael, I will see you next week, and Thank you for joining for He Said Ree Said.